Hi everyone, this is Critical with my first video in the series of videos I'll be doing for Friday the 13th. And this is going to be covering just a basic introduction to how to play. So if you've looked at the videos online, everything like that, there's a lot of people playing this game, but not a lot of them are providing knowledge and in-depth, I guess, strategy in regards to how to play this game. So before I could delve into the more I guess advanced or even intermediary stuff, I want to kind of go over the basic stuff. So before anything, I recommend highly that you go to the settings and you go to the controller mappings. This will give you a good idea of what the controllers are in terms of what to press, what they do, etc. This is really important because I played online a lot and not a lot of people know what to do. There were people asking, how do you sprint? And I'm like, you're asking how to sprint while Jason is already chasing you. That's not very good. So I unfortunately, my teammates usually die pretty quick in public matches. I've in private matches it's very different because I'm playing with people who already know how to play, the controllers, things like that. So it's much more difficult and much more strategic in those matches, private matches versus public matches where it's more so a lot of newbies, which happens. It's a brand new game, so it's been out 4 days. Or 5 days, depending on how long you've been playing it. So for the most part, one thing you really want to pay attention to is dropping items. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because I see this happen so often where people or somebody's about to escape in a boat or in a car and they forget to drop important items that the rest of the team that are being left behind needs, particularly like a fuse or the keys to the second car or gas or something. They forget to drop these items. And that's really important because at the end of the day, this is a team-based game, especially if you're a counselor. And most of you will play as counselors, like it or not. You might want to be Jason all you want, but 90% of the time you're probably playing as a counselor, so get used to it. So you'll be playing in a team atmosphere trying to survive against Jason. So keep that in mind when you're trying to be a good team player and help your team. Make sure you drop important items. You hold the down pad to drop big items like battery, gas, shotgun, etc. And you tap the down button to drop small items that are in your inventory like first aid, car keys, fuse box, things like that. Please pay attention to that because it gets so frustrating when you're looking in the last 5 minutes every single house you can't find nothing you need to either finish the game or get an escape. So look over this really well, especially to break, crouch, get in combat stance, which, that's something that a lot of people aren't using. They're not utilizing combat stance. Now, I utilize combat stance difference. If I have a pocket knife and I know I can't escape Jason, I will switch to combat stance because I take less damage. I know I have the pocket knife as backup in case he tries to grab me, but my goal is to at least knock him out or stun him with a melee weapon in my combat stance, and I could block his attack in case he tries to hit me or dodge, which dodge is another important thing. So that's something, if you have to fight Jason, make sure you try to do it in combat stance because you have more, I guess, equipment or more utility when you're in combat stance, particularly the dodge feature, because Jason is going to come at you, and he's more likely he's going to rush you. So if you dodge back, that creates enough space for you to swing your weapon and hit him and stun him. And I'll highlight some of that in some of the videos I'm going to show. But for the most part, that's something you want to look over. In regards to, so now look at the control mappings, let's look at how to play. So of course, as Jason, your goal is to hunt down and kill all the counselors present on the map before they're able to evade your clutches. As a counselor, your goal is to survive by any means necessary. There are multiple options of escape: surviving at the end of the round, repairing and driving the car to an exit, calling the police and running to them as they arrive, or, of course, option exists to try and defeat Jason by attacking him if you dare. Playing as Jason gives you access to multiple abilities, tools. Jason is able to morph around a map, sense players through their fear and noise, shift short distances to get a leg up on fleeing counselors, stalk his victims by sneaking up on them, and initiating a rage mode that enhances his power. Jason will be able to morph from the beginning as other abilities are unlocked over time. So each ability has a cooldown that rewards careful planning. So make sure you get aware of Jason's ability. I will be doing much more in-depth analysis on the cooldowns of the various Jason's abilities for each type of Jason, but I'll do that later. But for now, this video is to give you a basic overview of everything available. The next is Jason's Morph Ability will allow Jason to quickly navigate the map. After activating Morph, simply select where on the map you would like to travel, and Jason will instantly arrive close to the selected spot. Note, the map displays the location of various electrical boxes that can be destroyed, as well as location for any vehicles on the map. So Jason automatically spawns with the knowledge of where the electrical box is, as well as where the cars, boats, and the telephone is. So keep that in mind, because usually a really good Jason would try to make sure that the phone isn't utilized within the first 5 minutes, because that's when he's his weakest, is in the first 5 minutes, and he gets his other abilities usually at the 1 minute mark, and then I think at the 3 minute mark is when he gets his shift. So it's important to keep that in mind, that he will be hopping back and forth between important spots, particularly the power box, which the power box is, if he knocks out a power box, that increases people's fear whenever they go to areas that do not have power. So that's how, if you see a Jason that's knocking out a power, that's what he's doing. He's trying to create an atmosphere that increases your fear, which makes it easy for him to spot you over time. And fear is something that is built up over time. It's not something that you instantly get scared. It happens over the course of the match. And of course, certain things spikes your fear greater than others. If you see a dead body, that automatically rises your fear. If you're in the dark, that automatically rises fear. You could use the flashlight to try to decrease your fear. But again, that just drains your fear at a slower pace than you increase it. So, you have to counterbalance that. If you use your flashlight, yes, your fear will decrease, but it also makes it easier to be spot. So don't keep it on for long. Just use it to drain your fear and then move on. But keep in mind, if you are going against Jason that's monitoring the phone, the cars, things like that, just be very smart. Jason's sensibility probably focused on detecting count. So Jason's sense primary focus on detecting counselors. The higher counts of fear, the more prominent they will show up. Noise is also recognizable through large sound rings that will display while in sense mode. Jason is able to detect counselors in cabins, but cannot pinpoint exactly where they are at any given time. Jason's shift ability can allow Jason to quickly cover short distance. Activating the shift ability will cause Jason to disappear from view and allow him to accelerate in the direction he chooses for a short time. Jason's stalk ability will give Jason a chance to sneak up on Jason's stalk ability will give Jason a sneak. Jason's stalk ability will give Jason a chance of sneaking up on unsuspecting prey. Upon activation, Jason will not be able to mute. Jason will not be able to mute his proximity music, but his ability to hear counsels will be intensified for a short duration. Jason for rage. So Jason's rage ability is the ultimate ability. Upon activation, Jason's abilities are heightened significantly, and he's able to burst through doors, and some walls are scattered throughout the map. So when his rage ability is activated, which is his very last ability, his other abilities also get a boost. So it means he could sense people better, he could just do a lot more. So it makes him overall efficient with all of his previous abilities, but in addition to that, he could also break down doors by just hitting the X button. And this is on PlayStation 4, for anybody who's watching. Jason can perform a variety of kills. Before match, you can equip which kill you want to use. Up to 4 kills can be selected. More kills can be purchased, customized with points as you acquire leveling up. These kills can only be performed after Jason has grabbed a counselor, though. There are contextual kills, where Jason can use the environment to kill people. So after grabbing a counselor, context kills, location will appear on objects where they can perform. Walk over to a kill spot and interact with it to perform the kill. Context skills are not only brutal, but reward player with higher experience points to level up. So keep that in mind. If you're a Jason player, contextual kills give you more XP point. So that's a good way to keep that in mind. If you could choose between doing your regular kill and contextual kill, you want to do contextual kill to level up faster. Jason has access to 2 physical tools to increase his lethality: throwing knives, homemade bear traps. The throwing knives can be useful to inflict damage on a counselor at range, and while a bear trap can be carefully hidden to stop counselors in their tracks, skilled Jason players will use traps in frequently traveled areas, while throwing knives can be used to hit counselors through windows and across obstacles. Throwing knives can be found throughout the map and just out of reach of the counselors. Jason can enter a combat stance. Jason can enter combat stance Jason can enter combat stance to combat counselors more effectively. While in combat stance, both Jason and counselors will be able to more effectively lock on and attack their opponent, as well as block incoming attacks for reduced damage. Entering combat stance offers more agility for counselors as well, giving them the opportunity to dodge incoming attacks. Good, quick note: when you're in combat stance and you're blocking with Jason, you will not get stunned. So I've tried it with the highest strength character, Bugsby. I was blocking and he hit me 3 times with a baseball bat and I never got stunned. So, alright, Jason can enter combat stance and combat counselors more effectively. While in combat stance, both Jason and counselors will be able to more effectively lock on and attack their opponent, as well as block incoming attacks for reduced damage. Jason can enter combat stance and combat counselors more effectively. While in combat stance, both Jason and counselors will be able to effectively lock on and attack their opponents, as well as block incoming attacks for reduced damage. Entering combat stance offers more agility for counselors as well, giving them the opportunity to dodge incoming attacks. So while Jason can block in combat stance, the counselors have the ability to dodge in combat stance. That's not something Jason has. So keep that in mind if you're fighting, as a counselor, you could dodge his attacks if you time it correctly, and as Jason, you can block incoming attacks. Now, with Jason blocking incoming attack, I tested this out, and it looks like I cannot get stunned when I'm blocking as Jason in combat stance. And I tested out with Bugsby, the highest strength character. I think his name is Brandon. His real name is Brandon, but I think his nickname is Bugsby. And he hit me 3 times with a baseball bat, and I blocked everything. And then he picked up other weapons and kept hitting me, and I was blocking that, and I never got stunned. So he was, both he and I were surprised. So I thought it would at least stun me, even though I'm blocking him. But apparently, it also prevents stun. So keep that in mind if you're Jason and you want to not, and you keep getting stunned. Go in combat stance immediately and hit the button to block. And I showed you the controller map in earlier this video. Jason can deploy a variety of things in the environment to help him attract, scare, and harm counselors. Radius can be broken to prevent counselors from creating distracting noises. Doors and walls can be broken to quickly approach and scare counselors. Electrical boxes can be broken to kill lights in section of a camp to immediately frighten counselors. Windows can be destroyed to cause harm. The counselors attempt to escape. So keep that in mind when you're trying to create an atmosphere to get them scared, and so you can easily track them. At the end of the day, while Jason is pretty much immortal and overpowered in this game, he still has to follow certain rules in order to find and track counselors better. So a good Jason will be able to break windows, set up the environment, knock out the power, things like that, and create that atmosphere where no matter, even if they get away from him, he can still find them. Jason can track counselors down, but they can be very sneaky and hide when hiding around the map. Jason can find counselors under beds, in closets, tents, outhouse, more scattered around the camp. While counselors are harder to track while hiding, Jason can instantly kill a counselor if he finds them. As a counselor, your goal is to survive. That can be accomplished in a variety of ways: repairing and driving the car off the map, calling the police and escaping towards it as they arrive, successfully hiding from Jason throughout the ground, or even attempting to take him out once and for all. As a counselor, your goal is to survive. That can be accomplished in a variety of ways: repairing and driving the car off the map, calling the police and escaping towards as they arrive, successfully hiding from Jason throughout a round, or even attempted to take out once and for all Jason. Actually killing him, which is possible. If you haven't seen the video online, go watch that. Really interesting, but it's not easy to do though. Even if you do have all the components, one slip up, one mistake, and it's not going to happen. Counselors have a variety of tools at their disposal from the get-go. Each counselor will have a light that they can activate at any time. Counselors also have access to a minimap which will display the location of various buildings, vehicles, notable location. Be very aware of your minimap and how to read it, because a lot of times if you don't have a map, you're going to have to rely on people who have a map to direct you where to go. So know your north, south, east, and west, and whether it's northeast, southeast, or southwest, or northwest, be able to know where you're going. So that's good. I would say leave your map so that way it rotates when you shift, so that way you know where north is and know where you're going. Fear is one of the largest issue a counselor will have to deal with while playing. Fear is a direct result of being pursued by Jason, being isolated, and being in the dark. Keep those in mind. Discovering a dead body will also increase fear. The more fearful you are, the easier it is for Jason to sense you. To mitigate and reduce fear, counselors should find lighted buildings, hide in various hiding spots, stick close to other counselors, and reduce your noise as much as possible. The quicker you run, the faster you open doors, the more noise you create. So that there's a reason that you should pay attention to that, because as a counselor, depending on which counselor you're playing as, you want to match your playstyle to that counselor. Otherwise, it could result in Jason finding you easier. If you're a stealthy counselor, don't make a lot of noise. And if you're a noisy counselor, you want to make as much noise as possible so he could get to you and you could distract him. And my first video will be in Vanessa, who's the noisiest character, I believe. And the reason why she's the noisiest character is because she has to be the distraction for Jason. She could run away from Jason easily. And even outsmart him if she's really good with knowing her build-in. The user interface displays stamina as well, which depletes as you run and jog. Stamina is displayed on the bottom red semicircle around the minimap. You can speed up stamina recovered by crouching or remaining still. Also displayed are current equipped items on the bottom left of the user interface. And this is where I mentioned earlier that you should be able to drop your items if you're leaving in a car or boat. Make sure you drop important items. Repairing. So repairing vehicles, the phone box and electrical boxes is crucial to reducing fear and gaining means to escape. Each time you attempt to repair any item, a small mini game will start. The higher your repair stat, the quicker you are at repairing. In repairing mini game, you must hit the display button that is prompted when it appears. Success means quicker repairs. Failure will create noise that notifies Jason. As a Jason player, pay attention to these noises because that will indicate where somebody is. If you hear the little phone beep, then you know they're repairing the phone. If you hear something with a car beep, then you know they're at one of the cars. If there's only one car, it makes it easier. In addition, when you are leaving with vehicles, Jason can see the vehicle moving on the map. So the boat has become a death trap because it's so much harder to get away with a boat if he's watching the map. Cars will require a battery and a gas to be filled before the car keys can be utilized. After successfully filling the car with gas and installing the battery, any player with the car keys can start the car. Once the car has been started, they may drive the car as they see fit to one of the camp exits. Keep in mind, Jason can stop you if you aren't paying attention. Boats can also be repaired with gas and a propeller. Players may also opt to call the police by successfully fixing the phone box and dialing the police. A countdown will start that is visible to all players. Once the timer reaches 0, counselors may run to one of the exits to immediately escape from Jason. Remember though, Jason can become aware of the police and will be able to kill you before you can escape. Keep in mind, a really good Jason player will put a lot of traps by the police exit and try to catch you. And that's really important because I've seen a lot of matches where they avoided Jason pretty much until the cops are there, and they made the mistake of not looking at the ground to see where the traps are. And really good Jason will put the traps in areas like the grass or where there's foliage to make it look like there isn't a trap there, but it really is, and you can see the traps. We just have to pay closer attention to see if there's a trap or not. And there's a couple of different videos I have showing the difference between a Jason who doesn't know what they're doing versus a Jason who actually knows how to use traps. Tommy Jarvis, the hunter, can also be called by finding using the CB radio in one of the cabins. Once he has been called, a random dead or escape player will return to camp as Tommy. They will be equipped with a shotgun that does massive damage, however he gets one shot. Tommy's stats are far superior to the regular counselors, but he is by no means a guaranteed win. Yes, Tommy has a 10 in all stats, and technically he's the most OP counselor, but he's not immortal. He can be killed relatively easy if Jason grabs him, because Tommy does not start with a pocket knife. So if Jason grabs him right away, he's pretty much dead. So while Tommy is good, the best thing you want to do with Tommy is get him a pocket knife as soon as possible. Otherwise, he is at risk of being killed just like any counselor. The good thing about Tommy, though, is that because of his stat, his stealth, and his speed, and his stamina are all 10, he can keep a Jason occupied even without any weapons by playing Ring Around a Rosie, which is what I call it, in certain houses. Now, do not get overconfident and think that you can run around the same house indefinitely, because a smart Jason will put traps down for Tommy for him to run into, which will clip him up and allow him to get caught. So you want to try to max the way you're running around in about a good 5 minutes at a house, especially if you're running outside. If you're running around inside a house, it's different because Jason, I believe, cannot put traps inside a house. So that gives you a slight advantage. That eliminates his trap. But if you're running outside of the house, be aware of that. Each weapons have different strength, different stats. So counselors, of course, have the option to try and defeat Jason. There are numerous weapons around the map, each having a different amount of damage, stun chance, and durability. Keep in mind, Jason is an incredibly tough opponent, and even if he is down, he might not be out. So you can see it right there, the different strength, damage, duration. I believe the axe has pretty good... wait, what is that? Oh, damage. There we go. Oh, that's the stun ability. Okay, so yeah, the damage is stun, damage, duration. That's the three stats for weapons. As you can see, the axe has the highest damage. The machete has the second highest damage, if I'm not mistaken. The baseball bat has the highest stun chance, though, which is interesting. So keep that in mind. So baseball bat is really good at stunning Jason. And axe is really good at doing damage to Jason, which increases the chance of knocking off his mask. Surprisingly, the pots have really good stun also, including the 2x4. Of course, the tree branch has a good stun too. So, wow. So this is good to really kind of delve into that and see the different weapons and stats. So keep that in mind, guys. Combat stance for the counselor. Much like Jason in combat stance, counselors are able to equip weapons and get into a combat stance against Jason. They can attempt to dodge Jason's attack, block to receive less damage, and of course attack Jason until their weapons break. There are various tools at the counselor's disposal, various distraction items, location items, and even health items. These tools come in various shapes, size, and can be useful to trap Jason for a short time, such as with the bear trap or distract him with radio to make various amounts of noise. Other handheld items are available as well, such as pocket knife to instantly get out of Jason's clutches if he grabs you. Each counselor can equip 3 small items at a time with 1 large item in hand. Some items only require activation with the button, with the push of a button. Bear trap can be picked up, set down, and armed. To be cautious, the trap will ensnare anyone who walks over it while activated. Also, go back to items. When you have the pocket knife, you do have to press a button to activate the pocket knife. For PlayStation, I've been hitting square, but it could be X, I believe, too, also. So it's one of those buttons you have to push to activate the pocket knife. The radio serves as a noise-making distraction device that can confuse Jason into believing a counselor is inside a building, causing the entire building to light up when he activates sense. That's good to know, particularly if you want to sneak away as a stealthy character. When you're inside a house, Jason won't know the difference between you or the radio. Doors and barricade. Doors and barricading. Now, this is one area that I get so frustrated in sometimes. Because I'm not frustrated, but more so annoyed. I mean, at the end of the day, this game is to have fun, so I don't get frustrated. I more get annoyed. Is that each door has the ability to be locked and barricaded. Barricading doors will slow Jason down by forcing him to chop away at the door for an increasing number of hits. This can be useful to give you a chance to exit through another door or plan your next move. Keep in mind, Jason's in rage mode can immediately burst through, ignoring any barricade. However, you have to, in the first 15 minutes, you want to make sure you barricade doors, only because it gives you some time to think about what to do next. I see a lot in public matches where they walk through the door and leave it open, and it's so easy for Jason in the first 5 minutes to walk through the door, grab you, and kill you. And it gets you go through a door or window. Make sure you secure that house first, because you don't know what Jason will do. You don't know if he will teleport right there to your house and just walk through the front door and just maul you to death. So you wanna make sure that you're barricading the door immediately. That's very important to giving you, I guess, greater survivability. I once had this match where the back door was barricaded, but the front door was open. So I was running through the back door. The back door was already barricaded, so I couldn't enter through that door because it was locked. But I entered through the window next to it, and then I was like, "Ooh, I'm safe." And then I turn around to go walk to the front, and Jason walks through the front door and just grabs me. And I'm like seriously, I was so frustrated. I was like, wow. So they locked the back door, but did not lock the front door. So it was so frustrating. And Jason, of course, had a mic. He was laughing. He's like, well, I guess your teammates didn't think about locking the front door, but I should thank them for that. So it was kind of messed up. Windows are a quick and easy way for counselors to enter and exit buildings. Jump through in a hurry or going through a broken glass will cause damage to a counselor. Wait a minute. So be sure to open a window before vaulting over. Yeah, so jumping through a window in a hurry or going through a broken glass will cause damage. So yes, so if you jump through a window and broke or climbing over broken glass, you will take damage. Make sure you leave all the windows open when you leave a building, because you never know when you have to run that way and jump through a window to make a quick escape from Jason. And the last thing you want to do is jump through a window that's not open, and you will take damage. I usually open all the windows in the buildings I go through just in case, because you never know. You want to at least secure that building as a place to run to get away from Jason. Cabins, hiding spots, and interiors all offer benefits to the player. However, it is much easier for Jason to spot your general location. Cabin doors can be barricaded to make it tougher for Jason to hide inside, while windows can be opened to allow for quick means of escape. Counselors can hide in and around various beds, dressers, tents, and small areas to increase their chance of survival and perhaps even fool Jason. It is very hard to fool Jason, I'm telling you right now, until you get some better perks. But right now, every person I've seen hiding, they've been killed by Jason. So I'm not sure if they're going to fix that and make it a little bit difficult with people who have stats that favor hiding versus not. So that's something that they're probably going to have to look into. Perks might be the solution to that, but since this game is new, nobody has any really good perk to test that theory out. And then here we are, counselor perks. So unlike Jason, counselors get perks, which makes it a little bit easier for them to deal with Jason. They can equip up to 3 perks, and they have to roll perks for CP points. So I believe it's 500 CP points per perk, and you can get anywhere from a common perk to like an epic perk, and that's the range. So there's about 5 tiers to it. So like common, uncommon, rare. I can't remember exactly, but I know the highest one is epic and the lowest one is common, or I think poor, if I'm not mistaken. So that's, you want to make sure you have perks that are equipped to make your counselors more effective at what they do. Ideally, like for me when I'm playing with Vanessa, I usually equip the stamina perk because she has such great stamina and speed that it benefits her for that. It's such a huge thing. And certain perks increases based on percentage, which is really good because the more someone has a larger stat pool or a higher number in that specific stat, the higher that percentage bonus is, which is really important later on. And that's the last part of how to play this game, is the council perk. So thank you guys for watching this. I want, hopefully this video gives you a better understanding of how to play as the counselor and as Jason, so you can more effectively have fun at this game. Because at the end of the day, this game is here to have fun and to build a community around Friday the 13th. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I do a lot of live stream on my other main channel, Accelerate Games, in case anybody wants to watch that in a live stream Saturday and Sundays to kind of see what's going on. But this channel is dedicated to doing analysis, guides, and tips on Friday the 13th. And if you like it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do plan on giving a giveaway for Friday the 13th for all new subscribers, but it won't be until July. For right now, I'm just kind of focused on building a video. So don't forget to pay attention to that and when I'll be doing that. So, all right, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.